Good morning, everybody. I'm Cynthia Ching, Interim Vice Provost and Dean for Undergraduate Education. And I'm also a professor of learning and mind sciences in the School of Education. And I'll actually be drawing some on both of those roles in the opening remarks today. But first, I want to welcome you all to the UC Davis Conference on the Scholarship of Teaching and Learning, where our theme for 2020 is guiding our way forward. Such an appropriate theme. I mean, we'd all love to move forward from 2020 in more ways than one, right? Definitely. Before I begin, though, I want to thank you all for being here and dedicating time to not just your attendance, listening, interacting, and presenting today, but for the effort you put into SOTL work, period. Particularly at a time when just getting through the day can seem like a ridiculous challenge, let alone going above and beyond in your teaching and your focus on meaningful learning outcomes for students. So all this to say, none of this is easy, and I appreciate all of you. All right, so in setting the stage for today, I'd like to do a little bit of inquiry into what SOTL actually is and what its challenges are and what that means for us. So let's first acknowledge that people have been reflective and attempting to make strategic, meaningful improvements in their university teaching forever. As long as there have been teachers, there have been thoughtful teachers, right? That's not new. But the scholarship of teaching and learning, having been codified as a thing in higher education, is only about 20 years old. It really originated with the Boyer Commission report in 1998, which provided a strong critique of undergraduate teaching at research universities. I mean, it was almost like a Martin Luther's list of 95 theses, right? Like nailed to the door of the academy. It was fairly controversial at the time and people were like mad at it. But the report also proposed the scholarship of teaching and learning as one mechanism for how we might bring more focus to undergraduate education as an important aspect of who we are and what we do at R1s. So, okay, well, what is it? According to Hutchins and Schulman, a scholarship of teaching and learning is not synonymous with excellent teaching. It requires a kind of going meta in which faculty frame and systematically investigate questions related to student learning, the conditions under which it occurs, what it looks like, how to deepen it, and so forth. And do so with an eye not only to improving their own classroom, but to advancing practice beyond it. So it's not just about thinking and reflection, right? SOTL also involves, according to Gale, the gathering and interpretation of evidence of student learning. It invites peer review and going public with insights about how, where, and why students learn. In its dissemination, scholarship of teaching and learning influences teaching, learning, and scholarship beyond the local context. Okay, so both of those descriptions really emphasize the role of sharing our work, of bringing insights to a broader community so that our own inquiry improvements and successes can benefit more than just our own immediate students, right? Great, that's what we're doing here today and tomorrow. But and maybe this is just my grounding as a learning sciences scholar. In my own examination of a lot of the scholarship of teaching and learning foundational definitions and descriptions, feels like there's something missing. So in some cases, when we teach graduate students how to form an area of inquiry, how to pose research questions, how to select appropriate methodologies, we don't allow them to limit themselves to only the particularities of their own wonderings and their local phenomenon or field site, right? We ask them to engage a larger field. So in fact, scholarship, the actual term, doesn't just mean targeted inquiry and examining evidence. It means participating in a broader research conversation beyond our own individual contexts. It means situating our work within existing literature on the phenomenon in question and beyond. It means using practical and theoretical frameworks and constructs derived from existing literature. And it means employing rigorous methodologies in pursuit of trustworthy findings and disseminating our work to a broader field. So that broader field, in the case of scholarship, teaching and learning, can be hard to locate, however. Like, it's there, but sometimes literature is sparse. I mean, after all, SOTL as a thing is only about 20 years old. If we are committed to it, though, we can't just do this work in isolation. We have to engage the field, both beforehand and after we do this work. And we have to build the field. Now, I actually have some grand ideas about how we could leverage the power of the University of California Centers for Teaching and Learning to contribute to this effort and build this broader field. So, stay tuned on that one. But ultimately, there's also another reason that we do this work, in addition to building a field, which is that we do it for them, right? Whatever our discoveries, it all comes back to this. Teaching and learning at the university level is meaningful and worthwhile because it changes lives and it changes the future. So this is important work, and thank you very much for doing it.